Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Divine Guidance channel. I'm truly grateful you are here today. Let's tune into the energy and see what Spirit wants to share with you about the person currently on your mind. Thank you so much for your support and for liking the video. That energetic exchange really helps these messages come through more clearly. Right away, I'm feeling a strong sense of regret surrounding this person. There is an energy of if only I had done things differently. It feels like, looking back, they now realize there were choices they made that led them down the wrong path. If they could revisit the past, they would absolutely handle the situation in another way. I'm also seeing that during this period of distance or separation, they have been keeping themselves constantly busy. This feels like a coping mechanism, a way to distract their mind and heart from thinking about you too deeply. Yet, no matter how much they try to stay occupied, your presence still lingers strongly in their energy. What's very clear here is that reunion is part of the energetic potential, especially if your heart is still open to it. This connection has not ended on a soul level. In fact, it feels like they are actively working on themselves behind the scenes, trying to become someone worthy of another chance. They genuinely desire union with you again. There is a deep wish for reconciliation and a strong intention to do things differently this time. What stands out the most is their growing sense of accountability. They are no longer avoiding responsibility. Instead, they are owning their own actions, the pain they caused, the words they spoke, and the choices they made that led to this separation. I keep hearing the phrase, I lost myself. It feels like they recognize now that they were disconnected from their true self, acting from unconscious patterns, fear, or unresolved wounds. Because of that inner imbalance, they made decisions that ultimately hurt you and themselves. There is a lot of remorse here, along with shame and emotional heaviness. Their energy feels ungrounded, as if they are only now waking up to the realization that they didn't truly know who they were at the time. This awareness is difficult for them, but it's also the beginning of growth. What's coming through very clearly now is that whatever they did was not intentional or malicious. I don't see an energy of wanting to hurt you, embarrass you, or diminish your worth. Instead, it feels like they were deeply entangled in their own pain, unresolved wounds, and emotional triggers. They weren't fully present or thinking things through. They were reacting from a wounded place rather than acting with clarity. If their actions ended up humbling you or hurting your self esteem, Spirit wants you to know that this was never their conscious intention. It was more a reflection of where they were emotionally at the time, not a reflection of your value. I'm also picking up that they wonder whether you would still be open to some form of respectful connection if it that's just friendship. They are asking themselves questions like, can we still be on good terms? Do they still respect me at all? What really troubles them is the idea that you might now see them differently, that you might think less of them, feel disappointed in them, or even hold contempt toward them. They understand why you might feel that way. They don't deny it, but emotionally, it weighs very heavily on them. There is a deep discomfort around the thought that you may no longer admire them or that they have lost your respect. That loss feels more painful to them than the separation itself. I'm also seeing that they hid parts of themselves from you. This was not about manipulation, it was about shame. They held back certain truths, offered half truths or small white lies, not because they wanted to deceive you, but because they didn't feel safe being fully seen. There were aspects of themselves they weren't proud of, and rather than risk rejection, they choose to keep those parts hidden. Now, in hindsight, they recognize that this lack of full authenticity created distance and they regret it. What's coming through very clearly is that they truly miss you. If you are currently in separation or not in contact, even the smallest moments with you are deeply missed. Your presence mattered more than they ever expressed. Your smile, your laugh, the way you reacted to their words, even a brief exchange or a little validation from you. To them, those moments felt like medicine for the soul, soothing, grounding, and healing in ways they didn't fully understand at the time. Right now, I'm sensing that this person feels spiritually bruised, almost like an injury they haven't tended to yet. There are unhealed emotional wounds here, old pain that was never fully addressed. Instead of turning inward to heal, they seem to have over identified with their ego, which led them down a path that was not aligned with their true self. I'm also picking up that they were actively struggling with their shadow side. There is an inner conflict here, a push and a pull between who they truly are and who they felt they needed to be to feel worthy or validated. Another strong message coming through is that they became very attached to being right. At times, this made them emotionally rigid, unable or unwilling to fully see your perspective or understand your worldview. Their need to protect their ego made it hard for them to soften, listen, or meet you where you were. Because of this, they sought validation outside of themselves. Instead of facing the wound and doing the inner healing work, they looked outward. Distractions, attention from others, external approval, anything that could temporarily numb the discomfort they were feeling inside. But what they didn't realize then is that the peace they were chasing externally was something they were already receiving from you, naturally, effortlessly, just by being in your presence. At a soul level, they know who you are to them. They recognize you as their soulmate, not just romantically, but energetically. There is a softness here, a gentleness in how they feel about you, even though they are emotionally tangled right now. They still see you as someone deeply meaningful. What's coming through very strongly is that this was never a shallow connection for them. You were not just a love interest, you were a true soul companion, someone who felt like home, like a real friend, someone safe. And because of that, what they did feels completely out of character for who they truly are. Even they know that. In their heart, you are still the one. They see you as rare, precious, irreplaceable. There is a strong sense of gratitude here. They genuinely feel blessed that they ever received your love, your attention, your care. That awareness has not gone anywhere, but at the same time, I'm picking up that they have been moving through a dark night of the soul. There is confusion, inner collapse, a sense of being lost within themselves. It feels like grief or emotional loss is involved, something heavy that cracked them open and destabilized them. Because of that inner chaos, they either pulled away or acted in ways that hurt you, even though it went against their true nature. What I'm hearing very clearly from their energy is, I know I destroyed everything. They are painfully aware that their actions created chaos, drama, and emotional fallout. And now, from their perspective, it feels irreversible, like there's no way back, no possibility that you could ever look at them the same way again. There is a huge amount of shame here. Facing what they have done feels unbearable to them. The embarrassment, the guilt, the fear of your disappointment, all of it feels too heavy, so they avoid confronting it altogether. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much and don't know how to sit with the consequences. What I'm picking up is that they may have blocked you or are actively avoiding contact, but that doesn't mean their feelings disappeared. On a quiet, unspoken level, they are still loving you from a distance, watching from the sidelines, even if you don't see it. They are deeply aware of how loving and open hearted you are, and honestly, it amazes them. Your strength, your passion, your emotional courage, the way you keep your heart open despite everything life has thrown at you leaves a real impression on them. They see how you have faced disappointment, betrayal, and emotional pain, not just from them, but from others too. And yet, you still choose to love. I know there are moments when you feel exhausted, when you want to shut your heart down, put it away, and say, enough is enough. But that wall never stays up for long. You return to your truth, you return to connection, you return to love, and to them, that is everything. In their heart, you are still their one true love. Right now, though, you may not be able to see them that way anymore, and that's understandable. You feel rejected, you miss them. There is a deep sense of abandonment here, and because of what they did, you are far more guarded now. You are protecting your heart, especially from them. It also feels like for a long time you carried a protective role in this connection. On some level, you sensed their wounds, their pain, their emotional damage, and you showed up anyway. You loved them openly, honestly, with no armor. You gave them the kind of love they may never have received growing up. You tried to be the safe place, the healer, the comfort, the balm for their soul, and you did that for a long time. But here is the truth Spirit wants you to hear. Your love, no matter how pure, can only soothe. It cannot replace their inner healing. What you offered was real, powerful, and beautiful, but without their own inner shift, it becomes only a temporary bandage. The deeper transformation has to come from them, and that realization, as painful as it is not a failure on your part, it's wisdom. Strong Libra, Scorpio, Gemini, and Sagittarius energy is coming through very clearly here. What I'm feeling is that they are fully aware they treated you unfairly. There is no denial anymore. On a deep level, they know they mishandled the situation, and now there is this quiet question living in their heart. Is there any way we can leave the pain in the past? This weighs heavily on them. The guilt is real and it's persistent. It does not come and go, it sits with them. The number 1010 may show up for you as a sign, especially connected to endings, cycles closing, and the possibility of a new beginning. When I look at what actually happened, Spirit is showing me that the path they choose came from fear, not the entire truth. It was a self protection response. Instead of facing their fears head on, they tried to shield themselves emotionally, mentally, and that avoidance caused their behavior to become chaotic, inconsistent, and out of alignment with who they truly are. Because of that, their actions came across as messy, confusing, and even hurtful, and now the weight of that sits very heavily on their heart. The guilt has not lifted. Despite everything, the soul connection between you is still intact. There is a strong soulmate energy here, even if there is distance, silence, or separation in the physical world. Energetically, you are still linked. They also see you very clearly now. They recognize your light, your brilliance, your aura. They notice how you are building your life, investing in yourself, choosing growth, and creating something meaningful. They see your potential and the magic you bring into everything you touch, and there is a quiet knowing within them that life without you would feel emptier, darker, heavier, and less alive. They understand that your presence added warmth, meaning, and color to their world, and the thought of moving forward without you feels deeply sad to them. What's coming through very strongly now is that they are truly missing you and they are not in a good place emotionally. There is real pain here. I feel that they are likely to reach out, either to tell you directly that they miss you, that they are struggling, or to finally give you some honest insight into what they have been going through internally. And the reason Spirit shows me this message being received is because you carry such a warm, compassionate energy. Even after everything, your heart has not hardened. You naturally understand complexity. You know that life, emotions, and people are not black and white. Because of that, I do feel you will receive their message, and in some way, you will respond from that grounded, calm, and emotionally mature place within you. You have always maintained your grace, You did not lose yourself in this situation. You held your dignity, your self respect, and your inner balance, and that's very powerful. At the same time, I see a very important shift happening within you. You are rising more fully into your divine feminine energy, the energy of receiving. You are no longer in a space where you want to overextend, rescue, or carry emotional weight for someone else. Instead, you are aligning with the desire to be met, to be with someone who can show up emotionally, who can meet you where you are, who loves you without you having to prove, fix, or save anything. That shift is huge. And because of that, your light is becoming even brighter. It's magnetic. It's calling in a connection where love flows naturally, where effort is mutual and acceptance is unconditional. Now, it could be the person currently in your energy because I do see growth and learning on their side. This is not someone who lacks care on depth. This is someone who feels deeply but has made poor choices, acted from fear, and created chaos where there didn't need to be any. But regardless of who ultimately steps into that role, the message is very clear. You are no longer meant to carry love alone, you are meant to receive it fully. That's the heart of the message today. If this resonated, feel free to drop a heart in the comments or share what came up for you. I'm going to gently close the reading here. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with me. I'm sending you so much love, light, and positive energy. Take care of yourself, and I'll reconnect with you again very soon in the next reading. Thank you so much for today.